I don't think being materially comfortable or aspiring to be materially comfortable necessarily makes you a capitalist. It's what you're willing to do and what is material comfort to you. If you need a Rolls Royce and 74 mansions to be comfortable, then there's a problem. There's some self-esteem issues there. But you know, a decent house, running water, you know, good food. There's no reason why every single person on this planet can't have that. The only reason they don't is greed, nothing else. It's not that there's not enough resources to go around. It's none of that. And I don't think we should romanticize poverty, particularly those of us, even if we've only come from relative poverty. I remember what it was like to feel poor. It wasn't nice. It's easy for people who are middle class and rich to pretend and talk about, I'm going to wear broke down shoes and I'm going to dress like a tramp and whatever else. I know my community and I know what it's like to feel poor. If I go and talk to kids in school and I look like that, they're just not going to listen to me. I tried it. I went through a little hippie phase where I said, right, cool, I'm going to let my afro grow way out here. I'm not going to care what clothes I'm going to wear, even though I can afford better clothes. And they use them, they just can't engage with that because they feel poor. And no one wants to feel poor and look poor at the same time. And so to me, I would say to young people, it's okay to want to be comfortable. No one wants to not know where their next meal's coming from. But I think this whole mansion, Rolls Royce, Bentley, I think it's a sickness. It's an actual sickness to have $100 million and want 100 more. To have £500 million and want 500 more. To these corporations, you know, these sweatshop owning corporations, which I wear, so I'm a complete hypocrite, you know. But to make £14 billion a year and say, well, we need 16. You know, it's an illness, it's a mental illness. If that was food that you were gathering and you had this room and it was full of, I don't know, pizzas or burgers, and you said, right, cool, I got all this and I want more and I'm just going to keep eating, people say you're sick. So I think we need to revise our what we idolize. We don't need to idolize people because they're billionaires. They haven't really achieved anything special, you know. They've not made the world a better place. All they've done is hoard all these resources that could be being used to actually make the world. And some, I'm not saying all rich people do, some rich people do genuinely good stuff. But for the most part, you know, I think aiming to be comfy and then to spread that comfort as much as you can and aiming to earn your money, if you can, in a way that's dignified, in a way that doesn't violate your self-respect and your spirit, that's success to me, and I've done it. You know, I'm not saying I've never done any wrong in my life when I was younger, and that didn't make me feel good. Whereas today, no one can tell me that. And I earn my money making music that I love and educating people that I care about educating. And so, in a weird sense, and I know this because I can talk to friends and uncles and cousins or whatever else, I feel way more successful than friends of mine or cousins or uncles who've got more money than me. But what they are doing to make their money violates their spirit every day. And that's different. If you're a person that has no real spirit and you don't care, then that's fine. But a lot of people who do wrong, particularly who come from more difficult backgrounds, if there was a better option, genuinely, they'd take it. And that's the thing what makes me laugh about people being vilified. We live in a country and in a world where they'd rather put particular groups of people in prison than send them to a top-notch school. So that's what makes me laugh the most about racism, right? Is they say, you know, black people are inferior, they're stupid. If that's really the case and you really believe it, you could send every black child to Harvard, you know, and Eton and the most elitist institutions in the world, give them the best of everything. You wouldn't need to put anyone in no ghettos. You wouldn't need to make any effort. If you genuinely believe these people are inferior, you could give them the very best of everything. And they'd still fuck up, right? But the fact that you have to create these environments and go to so much effort in the States, in Brazil, in the Caribbean, all across Africa, to maintain a level of poverty, to maintain a lack of access to resources, etc., etc., it tells you don't even believe what you're saying yourself. And so, to me, I think revising what we see as successful and looking at people that serve community as success, I think would do a great deal also to ease our own insecurities. Like a lot of young boys, particularly young African Caribbean boys, feel unmanly because of the way hip-hop's become and because of this expectation to have this, to drive that, to move that, and the way other men... Let's be real, when black rappers are flossing, who are they flossing? They're not flossing on rich white people. The people that make the cars that they're driving, the people that own the champagne companies that they're advertising for. So they're flossing on who? Us. And so there becomes this, you know, racialized competition that no one wants to admit is racialized. But they're not really flossing on white people because white people are like, but you're still black. You can dress up in as much white people's clothes as you want. You know, you can drive as many of our cars as you want. You're still black. So you definitely ain't flossing on us. Yeah? And so I think it's quite an unhealthy definition of success and an unrealistic definition of success in a racist capitalist society. And I don't want to be held up as an exception. Oh, well, Akala made it, so you can all make it too, because that's not reality neither. And I don't ever want to become one of those people that's like, if you just pay attention, you can be like me. That's not reality, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that there are people way more successful than I am that have less material. This will be my last point on success. Stokely Carmichael was way more successful than me. He's going to live forever. Malcolm X or Toussaint Louverture or Jean-Jacques Dessalines. People that may have died in tragic circumstances. Amilcar Cabral, Assata Shakur. These are people whose names will ring on throughout history because they sacrificed material gain for a bigger vision. And to me, really, when your name can be ringing out 200 years after you're dead for something you represent, Patrice Lumumba, that's way more successful than just being a rapper and doing a few shows. So also I think elevating those people as the pinnacle of human dignity and success would be useful.